The professor's theory may poke some holes in the alien abduction phenomena. But what about those folks back in Bishopville? They were all wide awake. Now our investigation enters a whole new realm, guaranteed to really blow your mind. We began our investigation in Bishopville, South Carolina, on the trail of the infamous Lizard Man. That trail has taken us to another dimension, inhabited by alien beings with reptile features. Ooh, freaky stuff. But it's about to get even freakier. The Mexican Air Force has released controversial footage of what is believed to be alien spacecraft. I've sent Natalie to Thurmont, Maryland to meet with Dr. Bruce Maccabee, a doctor of physics. He's looked at the Mexican Air Force footage and believes that they've caught UFOs on tape. Listen to this.
Well, they were flying over the Yucatan Peninsula area looking for illegal small aircraft, drug runners that overfly going from Colombia to Mexico. Then, as they were flying along, they picked up a radar target. Two things on this airplane that were detecting stuff. One was the radar, which was continually sweeping around. At the same time, the FLIR operator had the option of looking at ordinary video or forward-looking infrared video, which picks up heat sources. Every aircraft we have that can do any speed at all generates heat. So naturally, he would assume that he could pick it up on his FLIR system. If you look very carefully, you're going to find there's a faint one here, two extremely bright ones there, a faint one here, and a bunch of them right in there. Here he has zoomed in. There are several different magnifications of the FLIR. So anyway, this pair, which I call the twins, goes behind the cloud, so do the others. Or the cloud moves between them and it, whatever. The plane, you have to realize, is traveling along. It looks like those objects are moving, but that could be an optical illusion. And now here come the others behind it. He was counting, and he counted up to 11 of these lights. At this point, the people thought that the crew thought that they had a bunch of UFOs or unidentified something or others traveling along with them. Unfortunately, the plane had to turn to the right to go back to the base and get fuel. Now the plane is traveling to the right. The cloud seems to be moving to the left. The light is maintaining an almost constant direction with respect to the airplane. So the turn started at this point. Now you'll see that he zooms in on this light, and you can see how bright it is, causing a flare. And then all of a sudden everything changed. So in your opinion, this object that was detected on the radar is nothing natural, is nothing human-made. It must be a UFO. And it appears the radar target is a genuine unidentified something or other, because at closest, for many minutes, it was only 2 miles in front of them. And if it had been an ordinary airplane or a balloon or a flock of birds or something like that, they could have seen it at 2 miles distance.
There's no doubt that they've caught a UFO, but who's behind the wheel? If we hitched a ride, would we find Lizard Man in the pilot seat? Who or what is a Lizard Man? We've heard some very unusual explanations, from a misidentified species to alien creatures who will take us away in spaceships. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I'm not going to say that there's no such thing as extraterrestrials, because we don't have a clue. Whether or not they look like reptilian beings, that's another thing.
But what about the Bishopville Lizard Man incident?
I think what happened in Bishopville and the name Lizard Man came about through media hype. And I mean, something was running around in the swamps and rivers down there, and we still don't know what it was, whether it be Bigfoot or something like a bear, who knows, but something mysterious was wandering around the swamps, that's for sure.
Now what about you, Natalie? Could Lizard Man be a kink in evolution? A dinosaur that evolved in a humanoid form?
Well, Bill, there is no doubt in my mind that these reptilian creatures are not part of the animal world. There's no evidence of them in the fossil record, and there are no living representatives of their evolutionary history, just like apes and monkeys are living representatives of our evolutionary history. It really doesn't sound like people were seeing a lizard man. It sounds like they were seeing a large primate.
That's right. I think the name Lizard Man actually came from a few songs that were written at the time. Most of the witnesses that we've spoken to, in fact all of them, have said it looks like a big, hairy, ape-like creature.
Well, I think that the people that perhaps describe it as being reptilian, like green, having scales on it. I mean, we're in a swamp, there's algae growing everywhere, so that's perhaps where they got the green colouring from. And they're going to be coated in mud. And you know that when you coat yourself in mud and the mud dries, it looks like you've got scales.
That's right.
What you're saying, then, is that Lizard Man is misidentified. That it was something else completely. Okay, so what happened to it? Whatever it is it still lurking in the Bishopville swamp?
The swamp is a very big place. There's a lot of places for it to hide, and all the people that went in there looking for it, probably didn't get very far off the road. I think the people would have scared it off, and it would have, got away into the swamps quite happily. And it's probably, if it is real, probably still, living there quite contently today.